That's incredible, isn't it? I'm so looking forward to seeing how you take advantage of Azure and New Relic together. You saw Scott mentioned the Codestream experience and how New Relic is plugging directly into world-class developer tools like VS Code and Visual Studio. Would you like to see a live demo of what that is all about? All right. Well, with that, let me welcome Peter, who's SVP of Strategy and Experience and the prior CEO for Codestream. Thanks, Phil.
Hello, Future Stack. I'm here to talk about Codestream. To make observability a daily practice for every engineer at every stage of the software lifecycle, we're meeting developers where they live in their IDE with New Relic Codestream. Codestream brings all of your existing collaboration tools into your IDE. And now, along with the power of observability to make you more effective and more productive. We have a plugin that works with today's most popular editors, such as VS Code, Visual Studio, Android Studio, IntelliJ, PHP Storm, WebStorm, and 6 others. And we're beyond delighted to be partnering with Scott and Microsoft to make your developers even more productive. I'd like to show you the 4 main use cases for Codestream to help you focus on what's most important every sprint. And that is, of course, your issues or your tickets, your PRs, your discussion about code, and finally, now, observability. So let's take a look. Okay, I'm going to be demoing with VS Code, which happens to be my favorite editor, but Codestream works exactly the same in all the editors that we support. So let's first take a look at the tickets that I need to address for this sprint. You can see here that I'm looking at all the tickets that are assigned to me from Jira, but I can also use a custom filter using JQL's advanced querying capability to show me exactly those tickets that are most important this sprint. And of course, we partnered with Microsoft and have their amazing Azure DevOps integrated as well. So if you can pull your tickets from Jira, Azure DevOps, or any other issue tracker that you're using. Now, once I decide which ticket I want to work on, I can click on it to open it directly in Codestream. And I can see all the details. And Codestream helps me automate all the things that everybody needs to do when you get to work, right? You need to move that ticket to the next stage in the workflow. And of course, you need to create a branch to hold your work. And finally, you can even, with one click, let your teammates know via Slack or Microsoft Teams what you're working on. So that's pretty cool. But let me show you something better. We have an amazing integration with your code host to show you your PRs directly in your IDE. And this allows you to set up custom queries to show exactly those PRs that are most important. For example, ones that I'm assigned to or ones that request me as a reviewer. So you can see here, there's one that's waiting on my review. And if you looked closely, I even got a toast notification letting me know that Brian wants me to look at his PR. So I can load up this PR directly in my editor and step through the diffs, leveraging the side-by-side diff capability of my editor, which leverages code intelligence, jump to definition, and all of my activity, whether it's adding comments or marking files as reviewed, sync back to GitHub. With one click, I can check out to this branch if I need to run a build. So it's a much more powerful and easy, seamless way to interact with your PRs and keep you in your flow. So that's pretty cool. But let me show you something better. What if you're new to the team and you don't really understand how the code base works all that well yet? Well, what we used to do is we used to walk across the hall and tap somebody on the shoulder. But nowadays, we're probably messaging each other through some messaging app that's not really connected to your code base. So Codestream makes that so easy. If I have a question about code, I can just select the code and hit this button. And up pops a comment box, making it super easy for me to talk about code. You can even see here that Charlie has been tagged. That's because Codestream did the git blame for me to find out who wrote that code. And because we do integrate with your existing messaging services, such as Slack or Microsoft Teams, I can choose which channel to post this message to, and my teammates can reply from Slack or Teams, and that reply comes back through to Codestream. What's even better is that those conversations are saved as annotations on top of your code base, which help the rest of the team in case they have a similar question. So that's pretty cool. But let me show you something better. For the first time, we're bringing observability into the IDE. Now, we can integrate with our very popular Errors Inbox experience. If you haven't tried this, you gotta try Errors Inbox. And now you can even bring it into your editor. And the magic of this is that in my IDE, we know what repo you've opened. And now we know what services are built from that repo. And when those services get deployed to production, if there's an error, we can bring those errors right back to the developers to whom it matters. So every developer on your team can see what's happening in the services that they've built. Here, I've got an error assigned to me, so let's open it up in my IDE, and you can see how much better it is to navigate this stack trace inside of your editor. All I have to do is click on the different frames of the stack trace to go to the different code locations, and I can more quickly debug this problem. And the best part is that if I see something that's a problem, well, you've already seen how easy it is to comment on code with Codestream. So now I can combine those two experiences, where I'm in my editor debugging a problem, and I can message about it, and those messages sync back to New Relic. So now production and non-production engineers can work together to troubleshoot problems. Now that is cool. But let me show you something better. Imagine, as an engineering manager, if you could get every developer on your team to look at how their code is performing in production every day. That would be pretty great. Well, we call it code level metrics. And code level metrics make it super easy. As you see here, I've opened up my file app.py Python, and I can see here next to the individual methods the golden signals that show me how my application is performing in production on a method-by-method basis. This is the first of its kind. Nobody else is doing this. Imagine if you could set thresholds, and these code lenses will show up in red if you've exceeded some threshold. And of course, you can click on this to load these data into your IDE so you can see how it's been performing historically. And you can pull data from any environment you want. You can see how here I'm pulling from production, but you can pull from a staging environment or from a load testing environment and see how this application is behaving differently. And of course, not only does this raise the visibility of how your applications are performing, because every developer on your team will see this now, you can also click right here to open up this service in New Relic so you can dive deeper and find out more. So those are the new capabilities that we're super excited about with Codestream. So bringing New Relic into the IDE lets you harness your data, cut through opinions, unlock new ideas, and turn insights into action. You are going to love the new ways you can put your data to work. Codestream is an incredible step forward in bringing observability into a daily, data-driven practice for every engineer on your team. And if you haven't tried it yet, it's super easy to get started. Just go to the marketplace of your favorite editor and do a search for Codestream. We'd love to hear how it's helping make your development team more productive. Thank you.